Okay, hi everyone. Colin Sloan again here, just doing part 2 of the dementia diagnosis rate dashboard updates, monthly dashboard updates. And this bit is going to look at how we get the ethnicity splits, which is a feature that's just started to be reported since January 2023. So quickly following on from the last recording about dementia diagnosis rates and antipsychotics, you've got those two bits in your monthly PowerPoint presentation now, and the next bits you need are the next 3 slides, which are the ethnicity splits by ICB, one for Humber and North Yorkshire, one for South Yorkshire, one for West Yorkshire. This recording is going to also cover the ethnicity splits for the sub-ICBs, which we don't report in this particular dashboard, but we report this to each of the ICBs again on a monthly basis. We don't put it on our NHS Futures account, but we email it out to the ICB program leads each month, just so that they've got a monthly update of where they are with dementia diagnosis rates, antipsychotics, and they can see their ethnicity splits. So we'll go through all of how we put those tables together for each of the sub ICBs, and then how we total that up and put a table together for the whole of each of the 3 ICBs in Yorkshire and Humber. So we get the data from, as always, from the same source, which is up on the NHS Digital website. We're looking at the data for February here because that's the latest data. As before, you go down to where the resources are, and if you look down here, it's the 5th one down, and it's primary care dementia data, ethnic group by sub-ICB. You download that to your PC, save it on the SharePoint files in our Yorkshire and Humber SharePoint files, MHDN, dementia in older adults, mental health, diagnosing well, number 2, and then data, and DDR 2023, and you'll see the folders in here. You'll need to add folders as the months go by. March is there, it's empty because it's not here yet. In the January 2023 folder, what you'll see is this ethnicity 2023 master. I've called it master, and I've kept it in the January folder for now. You may want to move it, but the reason why we've called this one master is because what we've got, and you'll see in a second when I show you the February data. When you first get the data from the, I'm just going to open this in my desktop app, by the way, which I recommend that whenever you download from the web or open from our SharePoint, that you open them in the desktop app. It's just much more easier to work with and sort of, you know, play around with maneuver. So yes, this is the data that you get when you first open it from the NHS Digital website. What we've got in this master copy from January is we've put a tab in for each of the ICBs. So you've got the ICB totals here for Humber and North Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, and basically you've got a worksheet for each of the sub ICBs. So there's one for each of the ones in Humber and North Yorkshire. There's one for each of the ones in South Yorkshire and West Yorkshire. And what you'll see we've started to do is we've started to put January and February, and we'll continue in this master copy, continue along until, you know, maybe December or even further if you want to go further than the year's data. But each month we'll just add an extra column in. And that's really just to, rather than replicate all these tabs every time we have a monthly update, it's easier just to grab the monthly update, filter the data, grab the figures and drop it into these pre-existing tabs that we've got here, which we'll go through. So basically, imagine we've got our ICB, our Humber and North Yorkshire O2Y totals for January. Imagine the February ones were not there. What we do from the website is we'd download, we download this file for the February data with the ethnic groups by sub ICB, and we will then save that in this folder, which you'll see is saved there now. So this is the February folder, and that file is saved there. I'll open it up, and remember my advice about going to the editing and viewing tab and clicking open in the desktop app. So we open it in the desktop app, and here you can see this is the February spreadsheet, and this is how it comes down each month from the website. And it's from here that we will now filter it. So basically, if we highlight the whole page, go to data, put the filter on, and then in the D column, we will filter and go down to H for Humber. And if we just stretch that out, you'll see that O2Y is the one that first appears for Humber. We'll select and click OK. Then we'll go to the date field. We're only interested in February of 2023, so we're going to click on the little cross there, and you'll see that they open up, and we're going to select February. So we've selected February. We've got February's data for the 7 categories, and that's what they are there. If we just leave that filter on and we just go quickly back to the Humber and North Yorkshire O2Y, I put the ERY there, that stands for East Riding of Yorkshire, because that's what O2Y is. This top table is the order in which the data is produced in the spreadsheet from NHS Digital. So it always starts with Asian or Asian British, then Black or African or Caribbean or Black British, then it goes mixed or multiple ethnic groups, then not defined, not stated, other ethnic group, and white. So that always stays in that order, and that's the order there. So what we can do is pick that up. Basically, if I just, all we have to do is copy the data, you know, basically the numbers we can copy. And if we go over to our existing sheet, they're in there already. So I'll just copy them at the side so you can see what happens, and you can see there that that is the data that we've already copied it in for February. So that's what you would do. So for the next iteration of the update, it will be March, and you'll do exactly what I've just shown you, but only in the March Excel spreadsheet. You'll copy that data and you'll pop it in there. So I'll just undo that. What happens then is to sort the data from lowest to highest. We've then done a second table underneath there, and you can see that we basically sorted it by February from lowest to highest, and that's then how the February table appears. The February chart then appears based on that data, which you can see there is highlighted because I'm on the February chart. So that's it really for basically what happens then is you move on to the next one, and then you go back to your February spreadsheet, and you just change the filters as you know, so you go down to the Humber and North Yorkshire, uncheck the first one, check the second one, you'll see the figures change. Same, so you'll go through it all, and you'll copy those and you'll paste them into the master spreadsheet. And then eventually what you will have is every one of these tabs for Humber and North Yorkshire, for South Yorkshire, for West Yorkshire, you'll have them filled in and completed. And you'll be able to basically put a chart in the same way that you always, do a chart. You'll select the data as highlighted there. You'll just pop in a chart, and same for South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, all the way through. And then what you have got at the start of this sheet now, and you'll see we'll go on to now, is we've got some totals, and what this is it's a clever little sum that picks up each of the totals in the tabs along the bottom. So basically you can see there it equals the sum of HNY02Y, which is the first of those tabs there, and it goes right through to HNY03Q, Vale of York, which is, I'll just show you there. So that's the last of the the Humber and North Yorkshire sub ICBs. So it's picking up basically the totals of each one of these worksheets, and it's then popping it into there. So, and it does the same calculation for each of the 7 ethnic groups, and then these do the same for South Yorkshire, and then the same for West Yorkshire. Similarly for February, basically on the next column on, and as you go along, you should be able to copy that formula into the next month's iteration. So basically what you'll have in March is you'll have, I always put a little column in between just to separate them, but you'll have these 3. I'll pop them in now. We can get them ready for March. And if we just merge and center these and put March 23, and you'll be able to drop March's data in there. And then what we do with this top table is just an experiment. So that is showing you it's showing you the 7 ethnic splits for each of the three ICBs in one chart, so side by side in one chart. But we don't put that into our. It was just an experiment. Really. We don't put them into our publication. What we use is these three charts at the bottom here. So one chart for each ICB, and you'll see. I'll go back to our PowerPoint presentation, and you can see that we've got one for Humber and North Yorkshire, one for South Yorkshire, and one for West Yorkshire. And that's really just a question of lifting those, copying and pasting them from the Excel spreadsheet across into the PowerPoint presentation slide, and then yes, so saving it. And when you're done, save the PowerPoint presentation slide into your folder in here. You can see there in February the PowerPoint presentation slide is saved there. So that's how you get the ethnicity data. Hopefully that's reasonably straightforward, and yeah, my advice would be to continue to add data to that master Excel spreadsheet, and then that will cut down on having to do a lot of the sort of adding a separate worksheet for every sub ICB every month, which be quite time consuming. So I would suggest you do that, but it's entirely up to you. I'll leave that there now, and I'll stop recording, and I'll do a third recording of how to put the ICB updates together. Thank you.